My name is Sarah. Yoga found me. It was a sort of weird, ridiculous thing I tried out in the 80s. And then after postpartum depression, I felt like I found myself again on the yoga mat. I love the story of how I ended up at M3. I had been teaching for a few years, but was only teaching private lessons. And then my YouTube videos.
My name is Sarah, and today's practice is going to be a simple sun salutation flow.
And then I got an Instagram message from the guy that owns this cool new yoga studio, M3, that I'd seen on social media. Apparently I had posted something with the Yoga for Everybody hashtag, and Matt found it that way. And I met Nick for coffee, and I believe I was teaching here a few days later. My favorite class to teach changes all the time. Today, my favorite class to teach is flow, because I'm teaching flow. And so I've had it on the brain. Teaching yin is very special to me. It's because it's a slower paced practice and because it's so introspective. It fascinates me, this whole getting to know a pose by staying in it for a long time. I love taking classes that push me pretty hard. I like taking something like hot power flow. I sometimes avoid half the shapes that are the peak shapes. I like being pushed into them. It's fun. I love to talk with the students before a class. I love watching the students come in, from work or from school or from wherever, and everybody's so happy to be here. And normally small talk doesn't interest me at all, but the small talk before and after a class is more intimate. We feel connected. I flippin' love it. I've always got a couple of goals that are not necessarily like yoga practice goals, but I really want to study with Bernie Clark, who's one of the originators of the yin style. The style has existed, of course, long outside of the Western practice, but it was really codified as a specific style of class by Paul Grilly and Bernie Clark and Sarah Powers. I want to study with all three of them before they stop teaching. I read today that the interesting thing about the yoga practice is that it's not leading towards a reward or an end goal or an end point, unlike, say, a degree, right? But the practice itself is the reward. And I can't stop thinking about that. I want to create the safety that you get on the mat. There's something about practicing in a room with other yogis. And the teacher seems to be almost outside of the practice. But there's a safety that you bring for the students in creating an environment. I want to help people to find that safety within themselves on the mat, to get to know their own bodies and to feel comfortable moving their bodies.